Hi everyone, let's just wait for 2 minutes to 1 to 2 minutes for everyone to come. I'm still admitting people. Good morning.
Good afternoon to say.
Hi.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Let's wait for Garima ma'am. All right. I hope all of you are doing well. Okay, she's here. She's here. She's here. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, please start.
So, okay, I can hear you. I hope everyone can hear us.
Yes, I hope so.
Yes,
Okay, great, great. Okay, right. So, thank you for joining. I hope all your classmates have joined because the whole point of this particular meeting is to address some questions that you may not directly have, but sometimes when someone else asks that question, it kind of also answers some things for you that you may be thinking about, or you may not think about right now, but you may have that question in a few days or weeks, or in some time. So we have taken up these questions that came from you, and Ching ma'am and I will try and answer them. If you have any further questions, just hold on, like don't ask them right now. We'll give you a chance in the end, or we'll tell you how we would like to go. Right, Ching ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, third years, like now you guys are officially about to end your journey in college, and you'll be moving forward. And I think we are just in very unprecedented times that you're not even physically around your teachers, or you're not doing a lot of regular things that you would be doing. So we can understand like the kind of questions that you might be having. So should we start with the first question?
I guess we can go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start. So this came from Shalini. So basically, her question was, I wanted to discuss the course of MA in HR, if it is worth applying, and which are the best universities offering the course. Okay, so I'll attempt to answer this. So Shalini, like you know that both Ching ma'am and I are not, we don't have a specialization in HR or OB, but we have been around for a couple of years, and we know other people who are specializing or have specialized. So when you say MA in HR, the first thing that I want you to know and probably provide some clarification is that there is a difference in masters in HR and a master's in psychology with a specialization in OB or HR. There are two different things. So if you want to do a master's in human resource management, then there are institutes like XLRI or Narsi Monji in India that offer a master's, not an MBA. They also, I think, offer a master's in management degree. But if you want to continue studying psychology and you want to have a super specialization or a specialization in OB or HR, then I think you have some options like DU, where you obviously don't get a degree in OB, but you have a specialization in OB, and then also TIS, for example. So the first thing I want you to know is to realize for yourself whether you want to get into HR, which is a field of management, or you would like to do it as a specialization within psychology. Think about that. And also abroad, some European schools like ICES in Spain, Spain, I know some of these, and also UK, like London School of Economics and all, they have some courses in HRM per se, 1-year courses. So think about it further. But one of the things that I would like to say, looking at all our batchmates, and I think Ching ma'am would agree, everybody who went in with OB eventually either had to do an MBA or they had to do something else.
Yeah.
So it will have to culminate into something else. It's not like a sufficient degree in the corporate sector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope that answers. And in case you want more details, we were actually thinking of getting some expert or someone to address it in the way possible, like right now. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Yeah, the next question. Should we go to the next question then? Okay. Do you want me to read out? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the next question was by, I think, Muskan. She asked for counseling or clinical, which college or university would be appropriate, and when will the exams or practicals would likely be happen? So I think Garima ma'am has an answer for that as well, right?
Yeah. So basically, to the best of my knowledge, and Ching ma'am can add if I've missed anything. So for counseling and clinical, these are the options you have. So there is Delhi University, which is North and South Campus. Again, there is no master's in clinical psychology. There is a master's in psychology with a specialization in clinical. Okay. Doesn't have in counseling in clinical. And apart from this, there is Jamia Millia Islamia, there is Amity University. Amity and all have specializations in counseling. So you'll actually get a master's in clinical or master's in counseling.
I think this also has.
This also has.
Yeah, counseling.
And so the Bangalore University. Also Bangalore University. And apart from that, okay, there is a university in Baroda. It's called MS University, Madhav Rao Sindhia University. It has a very good course in human development. And I remember it's a 2-year program, but very good for human and child development. So this we were told by Dr. Girishwar Mishra when we were doing our masters. And in fact, he kind of was really recommending it. I don't think it's very popular. It's like one of those more humble universities, but they have a good coursework. So you could check it out. Then there is TIS, like Ching ma'am said, and Pune University in India. These are the colleges or universities that offer clinical and counseling, as far as I know. Private, we're not getting into except Amity because we don't know. Like there are other places like Manav Rachna and all, but we don't know anything about it to recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would be all for the second question. Should we move on to the third one?
Yeah, and before that, she also asked one more thing.
Oh yeah, about the exams.
Yeah, exams and practicals. I think a lot of you are asking this question.
Yes.
And very rightly so. I think you just have to wait for the official notice to come. Let's not get into the speculation because there are too many things being said. Let's just wait. And I'm sure the university will take the best middle ground possible. Don't worry. Like, you cannot have the regular mode of exams and practicals and all cannot happen the same way. So there's going to be some other way out. We don't know what, right?
Yes, and I think whenever if we get to know something, we will always tell it to you guys, like from on WhatsApp, or maybe we will in that group that we have on WhatsApp. We will always forward whatever we know regarding your examination. If it is going to happen or when it's going to happen, we will let you know. All right.
Yeah.
And
okay.
The third question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Why don't you take it up?
All right. The third question was by Tanya. She asked, what are the different career pathways apart from mainstream in psychology in India? I think I can list a few in this. something like an educational psychologist, health psychologist. You may even become even opt for becoming a scientist, which places like DRDO, that is the Defense Research Development Organization, which is quite a reputed place, or the DIPR, Defense Institute of Psychological Research. You can go there also. And sports psychologist, social work, school counselor, and you can even work at the Ministry of Home Affairs also. And I know I know one person who works there, and I know another person who is a scientist at DRDO. And if you want to know about the process, you can actually formulate a question and forward it to me. I can request them for you if you have any question. All right. So apart from this, I think Garima ma'am has some points to add also. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so apart from what ma'am said, I think what she has told you is also something very different. Not a lot of people know that you could become a scientist and you could join organizations like these. And then there is also more of expressive arts and dance and movement therapy, which is gaining a lot of momentum in India now, because like therapy is not just the conventional therapy, it's also the alternate therapies that are working. So there is dance and movement therapy. I know there is a training institute in NCR. I'll try and find the link and send you. Fortis has some course on expressive art therapy. A student of mine in LSR had done it, and she had some really good things to say. It's a little expensive, and it's not a full-fledged degree. So it's something that you do on the side, but it helps you. So that's good. And yeah, and also if any of you is looking to go abroad, I don't know when that will be possible now, but whenever it is, I know that UK has some good 1-year programs in some specialized areas like family therapy, cultural psychology, neuroscience, health psychology. So a lot of the people that I know who went there had to come back to India because there isn't much scope to get a job, but they're doing pretty well. After they come back, they've joined organizations like Children First, and some of these, they've started working with some organizations and they're doing pretty all right. So that is also an option.
Yeah, I actually have a friend also who is into expressive arts. She works with children where I think the basic of what they do is they do some art form in the form of clay, playing with clay, or drawing and all. I can get in contact with her also if you guys want some, inputs from that side also. So let us know regarding that. All right.
Yeah, you can get back to us that whatever you're more interested in with your questions, and we can help you out with there. Yeah. Next.
The next question was by Garima. She asked, are there therapists who specifically take the humanistic approach in India and also in Germany? If yes, how can one go about it, like the good colleges for masters, internships one can do in the field, in client-centered therapy? And finally, how can one become a licensed counselor in European countries? So I think the first part of this question can be answered by Garima ma'am, and she also has 2 other questions. I think we can read it later after we answer this question. So Garima, you can.
Yeah, but do you want to talk about the European countries?
Okay, I can. Yeah. All right. The thing is, for European countries, I think I'll send you a link if you're really interested into that. You go through that link or the content of the website and go through the comments section also, because there are a lot of questions asked in the comment section, which I think you will identify, your question may be identified with. All right. But the thing, basically, the point is that there are some countries like India where they don't have any, regulatory body to give them the license. So if in those countries, if you are a postgraduate in psychology or counseling psychology or whatever, then you can practice there as well, right? But apart from that, you have to specifically look into that country and see if that country has any regulatory body. I think that's the basic idea behind this. So identify the country, and maybe you can get to know about whether that particular country has a regulatory body. So like for India, we don't have any licensing body or regulatory body. So that's why after postgraduate, you can become a counselor yourself, right? So apart from that, okay, I think that will answer about regarding the European country about the client-centered approach. Yes, Garima ma'am will be the best to answer that.
Yeah, so like, your question is that if there are any therapists who specifically take client-centered approach. So see, this means that if are there any therapists that practice client-centered therapy? There are, because that's like, depends on their training and their supervision and their preference. But if you ask me in terms of whether there is an institute that will train you to become a client-centered therapist in India, there isn't. So how it goes in India is that you get trained up to say MPhil as per like the regular model, like you study everything, and then after that, from there, depending on your area of expertise, what exposure you have, who's your supervisor, what research have you done, you build on your own area of expertise. A lot of people, that's why I'm more eclectic in India rather than being completely following one kind of a school of thought. There are CBT trainers, therapists, but abroad, yes, there is. It's more niche, and it's more, you have to be more special, like a specialist. So yes.
All right. The second part of her question is, my GPA is not good. What can I do to cover the drawback? I think this for GPA, one of the most simple answer would be to go for improvement by giving the exam again. But then another way would be like, if you're future oriented, if you're looking into the future, and if you get an admission, if you get admitted in a university, maybe one thing you can do is identify one teacher who you can best work with, and who is taking your area of interest. And if that you can identify, not after identifying the teacher, maybe work with that particular teacher and start on working on a paper, and maybe go attend conferences, give paper presentation, and eventually end up writing a paper. The thing with the thing with this is you have to be really, really devoted to that area of interest that you have, and you have to really, really work hard for this. All right, I think this, in this way, maybe if you end up writing good papers, your marks your GPA in your BA may be, what to say, not really considered. Like one of my friend, her marks was not really that good, but she still went ahead and went ahead for admission in this thing in the US. But she had given lots of presentation during a paper presentation during her masters. So what they did was they considered those presentation, and because of that only she got admitted. So this is one way of going about it. But then one thing that strike out about that person is she was really, really hardworking. So again, that is another way. Anything else that you would like to add, ma'am?
Yeah, no, I think what you've said about just being a keen student, I really feel like GPA will obviously like open doors for you or give you opportunities. But beyond that, like, if you found a mentor in a teacher, or if somebody really believes in your abilities, you can still get opportunities. Like I've
Yes.
seen so many students. In fact, I've also supported some students who haven't been in the top of the class or
Yeah.
on top of their academic like in terms of marks, but they're good students, they're keen, and they are, like ma'am said, sincere, hardworking, consistent.
Yes.
So if that is something that you're genuinely interested in the field of psychology, you can reach out to your teachers, but
Yes.
you will have to really show them that you're interested. You're not just
Yes.
doing it for a particular certificate or a reason like that.
All right, the third question was, will a course in hypnotherapy from California Institute of Hypnotherapy be helpful? I guess it can be helpful, but I think you will be the best judge of this, because specifically speaking, this kind of like identify your area of interest. So the question rather is, are you interested in this area, this hypnotherapy area? Because if that is your inclination, of course go ahead, okay. But if you're asking me this because you are interested in psychotherapy, psychoanalytic approach, then I would suggest places, you give a try to places like Ambedkar University, which I have a few students who are there. And the first batch of students who joined there were actually my classmates. All right. And I have heard good feedbacks from them. So, but again, then the psychoanalytic world, you should know that they are a world in itself. They are quite apart from the mainstream psychology. All right. So I think, yeah, anything you'd like to add, Garima ma'am?
Yeah, I agree. And also, I feel about hypnotherapy because I don't think we have had much exposure to that
Yeah.
area. We don't know much about it, but I know that there are people who have been trained in hypnotherapy. It's very different. It doesn't work like our courses, that it's a full-fledged,
Yes.
full-time 2-year program. It's like, the shorter courses, and you have to undergo some training. So I really cannot speak for how good it is, but I know that it is a parallel world, and I know that there are people who go to hypnotherapists. So I'm sure there is some credibility, but that homework you will have to do. That
Yes.
kahan se karna hai and what is good or not, because we don't know much about it. But there is stuff happening in hypnotherapy for sure in India also.
Okay. Like, but then again, like you said, it will depend on you. What is your
Yes.
orientation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question,
Mm-hmm.
by okay, Astha, right? So she asked, if I pursue a diploma from NCERT, will that be optimal to procure me a job in any organization, or do I need to engage in some else training program? So this is the first question. So should I answer this? All right.
Yeah, sure.
The blunt answer would be no. All right. The NCRT is diploma course is a diploma course. All right, but okay. Vijay Lakshmi just messaged me saying that Asa is not here, but anyway, we'll still answer the. We'll still answer. She got disconnected. It's fine. We'll still answer the question. She can refer back to the video later. I think we'll be uploading it later, right, Garima ma'am? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the blunt answer would be no, because not only because NCRT is a diploma course, but any course, any diploma course you take, it won't be good enough to get you a job per se,
Yeah.
right? Because the NCERT diploma course, as the name suggests, it's a course to enhance your skill. So it's not a degree, right? So if you're looking into a degree as to work as a counselor, if you're working like your post-graduation degree, that qualifies you enough for a counselor. But if you're looking to work as an educator or a school counselor, yes, I would actually suggest you to go for NCRT course, because that course is specifically for school counseling, right? But while it may or may not help you in procuring a job, try to define what your goal is. So I know there are a few people who works at as counselor in universities, and I know there are some people who works as a counselor in the hospital setting also. But and their qualification is variant, as in like some of them have. Some of them finished their MPhil from NIMHANS, and there is one person who is a postgraduate, but she is really doing well as a counselor again. So though I am not aware what they did to enhance their knowledge or their career pathways or whatever it is, it will actually depend on you, right? So again, I'm not really in contact with them anymore, but I will say this to you again. I could try to reach out to them. If you have any question regarding this issue, you let us know if you want to know more, right? I think Garima ma'am, if you want to add anything.
Yeah, so I think about diplomas in general, like Ching Ma'am said, that they usually happen after your masters and they help you enhance your knowledge or your
Yes.
application to the theoretical knowledge in a way so that you become more ready for a job, but it doesn't give you uh, a certificate, or it doesn't give you a degree that will allow you, to get a job right away or something like that. So another diploma that's quite good, and I've also taught there as a guest lecture, is a place called NIPSID, which is National Institute for Child Development, or I'll tell you the entire thing. It's in Hoskas, and it basically has a clinic for children.
Yeah.
So they do a lot of assessment and they do good work, like they do play therapy and they do assessment,
Mm.
and they have a PG diploma course after masters in child and guidance counseling, or something like that. It's more specialized, but it's good, like their structure is good and everything. So if you're interested, but that's after masters. Any diploma is usually after masters. You could explore that, but like ma'am said, that it doesn't make you job ready, or it's not something that you'll suddenly have placement. So one of my batchmates from masters ended up doing that course, and then she opened her own school for differently able children. So
Yeah.
now she has her own school in West Delhi, and she's doing pretty well because she's got special educators, she's got different people. But because she is trained in psychology and she did that course, it gave her a good vision to put
Yes.
everything together. And then she had the resources to do this. So keep it in mind. And like ma'am said, that try and do the full proper course rather than just the
Mm.
diploma.
Yeah.
That's important.
All right. The second, she has a
Also,
second question. Yeah. So the second question was, what is the distinction between a lecturer, an assistant, and an associate professor and a professor? So Garima ma'am, would you like to answer that?
Okay, I think either one of us can. Okay, I'll do it. So basically, a lecturer can be used interchangeably with an assistant professor, because
Yeah.
that's like the entry stage or the first stage of you
Yeah.
teaching in a university or a college. It doesn't matter, it could be a college or a university. You can be a lecturer or assistant professors. So I and Ching ma'am are assistant professors or lecturers at the moment. It's different from guest lecturership, which means that you're not a full-time faculty. Those are different, but we are full-time faculty. So we can be called lecturers or assistant professors. Now coming to an associate professor or an additional professor or a professor, that happens over a period of time when you are in service, and after you work for a couple of years and you fulfill some criteria, you have to undergo some interviews and everything, and then you get promoted to the next level. So those are just grades in, or hierarchies within the system of professorship or faculty,
Yeah.
right? So I think that probably answers it. And if you have any more specific questions, which brings me to this thought that you might be interested in pursuing the field of
Yeah.
becoming an educator. So if you are, then you could talk to us.
Yeah. So the next question is by Titiksha, right? Yeah. How
Yeah.
is DU as a university for a master's specifically for counseling psychology? Have heard mixed responses, and I will be very honest with you, I will give you a mixed response too. So I think I will pass on this question to Garima ma'am, because my response will be too mixed, I believe. So Garima, you have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree with you also, because I feel like you went a little bit after me, right? Like
Yes.
maybe 2 3 years after me. So I feel like the
Mm.
situation kind of,
The
I'm
thing
trying to
is,
show
it's a good university. It's a good place.
university. It's a good
Yeah,
name. It's a good
yeah, with a
name.
good
Okay.
name. Yes.
So I agree with Ching ma'am about the mixed responses, because I always tell my students, I've been telling them for the last 3 to 4 years, that if you are really passionate about psychology and for you everyday learning is important, then I'm not sure whether you really admire and appreciate this. right? But if you're someone who just wants a degree and you just want some more free time and classes kabhi hoti hain kabhi nahi hoti hain, chal jayega, it's okay. But I know people who have been very disappointed because it's not like college, like you things that we are doing with here, like nobody's going to do it. Also, I feel like teachers make all the difference. So a lot of
Yes.
the really, pioneer teachers have moved out. They've either retired or
Yes.
they've moved to other universities. So that's a big loss to the department. So I agree with ma'am. But yes, if you want the name and the label, it's there. Like it'll help you in your internships, it'll help you in your essays if you're going abroad. All of that will help you a lot.
Yeah.
Secondly, Titiksha is asking if masters is there a counseling psychology? There isn't any counseling psychology specialization in DU. There is clinical, there is human development,
Clinical, I
or there,
am not sure if they have though. You
they've
have to.
changed now.
I think they don't have the teacher. They were looking for the teacher. I'm talking specifically about North Campus. I don't know about the South Campus. Though. Do they have?
Right.
Okay.
South is anyways applied, but I think
Hmm.
clinical. हमारे time पे, in your time also you had clinical, right?
No, we don't have. We didn't have. We had, but Ashu ma'am, she retired. No, so
Okay.
most of the
Okay.
teachers have retired. Yeah, the teachers who
Yeah.
taught was they were really good, like Mishra sir, Anand Prakash sir. He's still there, but I think he is a bit busy these days. I don't know. And Eric sir is always very great. He is good, and there were quite a few other teachers who were really good. Nandita ma'am and Ashum Gupta ma'am, and then there was Sunit sir. He was also in his prime, but then I don't know, after a few of them retired, it's quite like, I don't know, it's quite on the decline. And because some of my students have gone there, and the feedback that they have given is that's not what I expected. But then
Yeah. Totally, I agree.
yeah, but then a few others say that it's good, so it's a mixed response from me also.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but like ma'am has said, I think if you want the name tag, and you are really driven to work on something, then maybe you can join, because there are good teachers there also, and you have to kind of like make your own way in those situations.
Yeah.
But if
A
you're
lot of
still,
students.
yeah, but if you are still if you're looking to be, you know, guided in a really proper how university is supposed to function type of thing, then I think maybe elsewhere might be a better option. Or maybe
Yeah.
we are critical of it because we are a product of that place. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, probably. See, it used to be unstructured even when we were there. So
Yes.
masters will not be like how we are, like, with you guys. No matter which college you went to, masters would always feel like suddenly someone's just left you to
Yes.
kind of everything out. And even though we had the best teachers, I think even before Ching ma'am came, we had people like Dr. Ashok Nagpal and Honey ma'am
Yes.
and all of
Oh
those people
yeah.
teaching us everything.
Yeah,
So we
they
had
taught
the
us
best
too.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that's great. But then again, there was no structure. Masters is not about structure. You will have to figure it out. But if you're looking for structure, and I know some of you are people who want structure and hand holding, then I don't know, I don't believe I'm saying this, but I've got amazing feedback for Amity, for
Yeah.
clinical psychology. I've heard that their master's course, I'm not talking about their bachelor's, master's has a really good program, and they've got decent teachers and there's good training. So if you really want to focus on that and you don't get DU, don't be disheartened, because a lot of people, your own senior is there, right?
Mm.
Vasudha is there. And masters, I know some of my ex-students from LSR are there. If you want, I can get one of them to talk to you guys on Zoom and tell you what it's really like for them. So let
Yeah.
us know. But both of us agree on the mixed response. You need to pick what is important for you. Is structure important or is the name important?
Yeah, like I remember during our master's days, some of the students were very concerned with what's the syllabus, where's the
Yeah,
book. there is
Yeah.
no syllabus as such. There is no book as such. Whatever is taught in the class is the syllabus. All right, so that's the way masters go. And but that doesn't mean that you don't have any reading. You'll have readings and readings and readings, and it will keep on
You can have
expanding.
some really good classes. Like
Yes.
you can have excellent classes that go on for 2-3 hours. यहाँ की तरह ही
Yeah,
होगा
yeah.
कि एक
And you don't,
long class.
yeah, and you don't even notice that the time has just, it just went like that. All right. Okay, so mixed response again. Yeah. All right, the last question was by Anushka. Very okay. What was the mistake in Sheldon and Penny scene that I mentioned in the video, in one of my video? I think, okay, this makes me understand that you don't really know the difference between positive punishment and negative reinforcement per se. Think of in what, because in one of the in that segment, Sheldon says something like getting a cake is positive reinforcement, and giving mild electric shock is negative reinforcement. So think about it. If positive is the addition of stimulus and negative is the removal of stimulus, how is getting a shock a negative reinforcement? Because you're actually giving something, right? So think about it. Won't it be, rather than it being a negative reinforcement, won't giving mild electric shocks be positive punishment? So something like, I don't like something that you do, I punish you. Simple as that. Positive punishment, right? Okay, so I think this is the last question. All right, Garima ma'am, would you like to say something?
No, I think for now we try to address whatever came from you
Yeah.
guys. And if you still have more questions, we totally understand that this may lead you to think about more things. We don't mind meeting you guys again and talking to you, because we really feel like this is also the least that we can do right now as
Yes,
teachers.
actually.
Yeah, and in fact, Ching ma'am and I had also thinking of getting 2 or 3 people from different fields for like Zoom sessions. Would you be interested in that? Like, we want to ask you if we get someone from HR, somebody from expressive arts, dance and movement, and Ching ma'am, you could think of. Yeah, I can see a lot of yeses
Yes, ma'am.
coming.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, that's good. All right. So maybe in the future we could, maybe by next week we could make something like that, right? All right. We're actually hoping that this will help you guys, and also because we are missing the classroom setting a lot, because we would have actually done something like this if we were actually in the classroom setting. So in replacement for this is what we came up with. All right. And we see that a lot of you are concerned about what's going to happen in the future, and but after BA what. So and some of you have been texting us also, so we wanted to have a class solely on that topic, because rather than texting at night personally to you, we feel that if we answer to you like this, it will be better for not only one person but for the rest of the groups also, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, anything else? Yeah,
I guess it's fine for now.
Yeah, I guess so. All right then.
And if you have any more questions, we'll you could all compile it and send it to us, and we'll see if we can address them.
Yeah. All right, guys, then I guess this is it. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.